Hi, this video will just go over how to use Excel for figuring out the sample size that is going to get you whatever margin of error that you want in a statistical sample. So here's the setup. Suppose we've got a one sample Z interval that researchers want to do, and they're wanting to estimate the proportion of adults that learn something new. So previous research suggested 40% would say yes, and the researchers want a confidence interval of 95% and a margin of error no more than plus or minus 5%. So what they're saying here is that they want this thing here to be plus or minus 5%, that the sample plus or minus the margin of error here, this part, which I've just put down here, this to be 5%. And we have a confidence interval of 95%, and that is used to get our confidence or our critical value of Z, the Z score that will get us, within 95% confidence level. And basically, there's 3 of those that are used almost all the time. And so, but you can always look it up on Google. So here are the most common, and this is a 95% confidence interval, which is the most common of the most common. And so our Z star is going to be 1.96. And so we can just open up an Excel document and type in Z star is equal to 1.96. And actually, let's move that over. So it's over here. Okay, and the other numbers I have are, I've got a p hat of 40%. I've already used this number. We know where this one goes, and that's the only other number we have. And we need to calculate this. So we've got Z star, we've got p hat, and we are trying to find the sample size, which is n. So we're trying to find this, and we can do that algebraically, but I think it's useful to learn how to use Excel to do scenario analysis like this. So our p hat is 40%, 0.4 is p hat. And n, this is what we're trying to figure out. So I'll put a question mark by that. And so n is what we're gonna look for later. We could do 100, we do 110, and so on. But the standard deviation is this equation here. It is p hat times the square root of p hat times 1 minus p hat divided by n. So we'll put that in here, equals SQRT of, and we're going to do parentheses because we got this whole thing in the numerator. I've actually done it backwards to how they did it, but so 1 minus p hat times p hat divided by n, and then put the closed parentheses on there so that it's all within the square root function. And here's our standard deviation. And then so that's this whole part of the equation, and then we just multiply that times Z star to get our plus or minus what percent. So equals the standard deviation. Well, I guess I'll do it just like in the formula, equals Z star times the standard deviation. So what we have is, if there's a sample size of 100 and a confidence interval of 90%. So in this case, Z star is for 95% interval. Then there is a 9% margin of error, and so that's too big because we're looking for a 5% margin of error. So we need to adjust the value of n to get it smaller. Now what I did here is I just dragged this formula down, and what Excel does by default is it uses relative references. And so the B2 here is just 3 squares up, and that's this one. And the A5, this is 1 to the left. And when I drag this down, it still went 1 to the left for the denominator, and it went 3 above for p hat, but this isn't p hat, obviously. So we need to make that p hat this one is correct because we do want a relative reference for that one. But actually we need both of these p hats to be correct. So one way we can do that is we can change it to an absolute reference from a relative reference. So we put a $ in front of the b, $ in front of the 2. And now no matter where I drag this formula, it's always going to be pointing to this exact cell with 0.4 as the variable. And a quicker way to do that is if you just click on this thing and you hit F4, and it will cycle through the different kinds of relative and absolute references. So, if you want to change it back, we could, either manually delete the $ there, or you can click on it, hit F4, 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 and they've gone away. But I'm gonna put it back, F4, F4, enter. And let's see if I've got this right now. So, and I haven't, but I'll just show you what happens. Oops. I'm gonna grab both of these, and Excel, if I grab the handle, Excel will just keep adding 10 on each time. And then if I come over here in Excel, I can just double click on this thing and it fills stuff in. Let me try it again, double click, and it goes all the way down to the bottom here. And I'm just going to click on here to make sure that I have the right things, because I want p hat and I want n. So so that one's correct. Now let's do this one here. And this one, oops, this one's not going to be correct because again, I got to check what went wrong here. So this one was correct. I was multiplying the z-score times the standard deviation, or the critical value z, I mean. And over here, I still want the same thing, but the value for B2 is a relative reference. So, I could manually change all of them, and that's correct. Or I can just come in here and change this into an absolute reference with F4, or manually enter the $. And now if I double click on there, or in Google Sheets, if you just drag this thing down, it will copy it all into place. It works the same way by dragging it or double clicking in Excel. Okay, so again, what I'm looking for is the margin of error. And I want a margin of error of, what was it? 5%, plus or minus 5%. So let's go down here and see what is close to 5%. And so somewhere in here is close to 5%. And so somewhere between 360 and 370 is going to be 5%, because this is a little bit too much. This is a little bit too low. And I could come back and start with, start with 360 up here. And then do 360.5, and then fill in going up by half each time. And that'll get me a little closer to 5%. I think this is the closest I've got. So about, is that the closest? No, down here is the closest. So somewhere around 368.5, 369, this is the true value. And again, I could keep going to get more precise, but we don't need to get that precise for the homework. This is close enough. Either one of these is going to be close enough. Okay, so that's how you do a question like this, where you have a p hat and you have a confidence interval and you have a margin of error that you want, and you got to solve for the sample size n, which is down here. Sometimes, however, they won't give you what p hat is. Like here, we have the margin of error we want. We've got the confidence interval, which gives us our critical value z, but we don't have a p hat. So in this case, just use a p hat of 50%, because that's kind of the worst case scenario. That is going to be the place that maximizes the variance. So I can just come back here and use the same thing, because the z star in this case is for 95%, which is 1.96. So that's the same. I just change this to 0.5, and everything will update. So so I'm still using this as p hat, and this is as my n. But this time I want a margin of error of less than 2%, or plus or minus right at 2%, I mean. And let's see if I'm getting there. I am not. So it's going to have to be bigger than 377 because bigger means bigger sample sizes means lower confidence or lower margin of error. So let's just try starting out with 1,000 and going up by 100. And let's see what that gets us. So, so yeah, right in here, we're getting so between 2,400 and 2,500. 2,400 is quite good there. That's about 2%. And we could get even more more exact if we wanted to, but that's good enough. That's within what is that, like a 100 millionth of a percent, or no, I'm way off. Never mind. Don't ignore what I just said. But it's very, very close to what we're looking for. Close enough. All right, that's how you do the Excel for this kind of a problem, and this is called scenario analysis. It's used all the time in business to figure out what would happen. If in this case, what would happen if you had different sample sizes, and that's the only thing that changes. What happens to our margin of error? And then you could even, if we wanted to, we could graph this and show the graphical relationship between the two. But I don't have time today, so we'll save that for another time. All right, I hope that is what you need. But if you have any questions, let me know, and we'll I'll see what I can do. Thanks. Bye.